Hey, what's up, guys? Tugi here, back again with another episode of my still somewhat newish Toronto Blue Jays franchise mode series right here on MLB The Show 18. And today we finally wrap up season 1. It's August 1st. We find ourselves with a 57-49 record. We are 9 games back of the division-leading Red Sox. However, we currently find ourselves in a wild card spot, and that is the goal for this year, of course, to make the playoffs. And our moves in the last episode reflected that, as we did move on from some prospects, but we brought in some reinforcements. We also moved out some players who weren't getting the job done, including veterans like J.A. Happ and Jaime Garcia. We brought in the likes of Chad Kuhl as a starting pitcher. In terms of the bullpen reinforcements, I was going to say assistants, I don't know why. We brought in Josh Fields and Liam Hendricks. And lineup-wise as well, of course, acquiring David Peralta from Arizona, hitting .313 this season, and Gregory Polanco as well from the Pittsburgh Pirates. So a couple of big pickups, mainly due to the loss of Randal Grichuk, of course, out with a broken leg for a month or two. He might not be back unless we have a deep playoff run. So some of these moves were absolutely necessary to keep us in the mix. But for now, let's get down to business. I don't know if we'll go through the playoffs in this episode. Time will tell. We might not have the playoffs to go through. As we begin, we've already lost 2 out of 3 so far against Oakland. Can we avoid the sweep against our former pitcher, J.A. Happ, as Henderson Alvarez is going to be out for a couple of days, and we get swept. So J.A. Happ gets a little bit of revenge as we get swept by Oakland. Not ideal, but hopefully we can start to turn things around here. And this is a very important series for us against Seattle, where they are just 2 wins back. So this could be huge. Let's sim this series. We split the first 2, and we win 3 out of 4. Grichuk is still out, unfortunately. Jalen Ortiz is back. But 3 out of 4 against the Mariners. I will take that. And now we have a series against the Red Sox. The division-leading Red Sox, still 1 game up on the Yankees, although the Yankees do have a game in hand. So this is huge. If we ever wanted to still compete for the division title, we have to take 2 out of 3 against both Boston and New York within the next 2 weeks. Otherwise, we are pretty much confirming that it will be a wild card spot at best. So let's sim these 3 against Boston. And despite winning that first game 14-7, we dropped the next 2, including a 12-2 loss. Tremendous. Who decided not to show up in this one, pitching-wise? It had to have been Estrada. He gave up 2. Oh, no, it was Michael Yanoa. 7 earned runs in 2 1/3 innings of work. Tremendous. David Price is 16-3 on the season now because of that. My God. So there we go. Certainly not what we were looking forward to there, or looking for there. We move on to play Tampa. They're at 58 wins on the season, so they're not looking too great, but you know, a win here, 2 out of 3, even a sweep against us, that could put them in a much better spot. And holy hell, I was being sarcastic about them winning that series. We are continuing to drop games, now at 62-55 on the year, 9.5 back of Boston. Still, though, we find ourselves in a wild card spot. So I am a little bit concerned about how much we have been slipping up, but overall, we should be okay. Tim Tebow was sent down. That's unfortunate. I still love that we acquired Tim Tebow. It's perfect. So, overall, let's see. How are we looking? Stroman not doing as well as I would have preferred with that 3.81 ERA. Aaron Sanchez at a 3.63. I'm feeling okay about that. Not great about it, but okay about it. Henderson Alvarez has looked all right. Chad Kuhl. Wow. I can see why Pittsburgh wasn't playing you all year, buddy. 8 innings of work. He's 0-2 with a 10.13 ERA. Well, if you want to chalk that up as one of my first big mistakes, there you go. Trusting him to get it done. And of course, Estrada hasn't been that great either. Michael, you know what hasn't been that great either. This is unfortunate. The bullpen, Biagini's still looking all right. Hendricks, Rosenthal, and Rivero have still been great, but overall, I'm not too happy with a lot of this. Let's take a look here. So Zick at a 1.53. Fields at a 1.6. Biagini's been fine. But overall, I do still have a problem with a lot of these guys, including these bottom three, and Stroman in particular hasn't been great either. There's really not much we can do, though, in terms of other big-time options. I mean, in terms of calling anybody up, I mean, Guerri here, I'm going to guess that's how it's pronounced, has been okay at the AAA level, but obviously he's not the ideal guy to call up. The problem is, both the current, well, he's in fourth in the lineup, he should be fifth. The fifth option and the long reliever have both been hot garbage. This many underperforming players was certainly not a part of the plan. But I do wonder. I have some moves in mind that could be made if things continue to get worse. For the moment, we're going to keep it together and hopefully we can start to turn things around. And that begins with this 4-game series against Kansas City. And, oh boy, okay, I thought that was going to be worse. We'll go auto on that. We take 3 out of 4 against the Royals. That's not terrible. And that sets us up with another chance for redemption here against New York. 2 out of 3 would be tremendous. Not sure how I feel about that, though. And unfortunately, we do lose that series. We avoid the sweep, however. 3-game series against the struggling Orioles at 55 wins on the year. And losing 2 out of 3 there is simply unacceptable. Against the Yankees, sure. 2 out of 3 to Baltimore. Let's ponder making some changes here, shall we? We're 11 back of Boston and only a game up on the Rays. The 26th ranked Rays. It's only because they've played one more game and have that one extra loss. So let's see what we can do here. Actually, pitching-wise, let's take a look. Oh my God. All right. What are we going to do here? I have a plan, kind of. Kind of. Only kind of. Do you have minor league options? You do. Do you have minor league options? You do. Lovely. Yeah, you go find your game down in AAA, please. Thank you. You go find your game down in the minors. So we have our 5 there. We would need a 6th. But my goal here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll also call up Carlos Ramirez, who needs to be added to the 40-man. I was tempted to call up Danny Barnes. Tempted to go with Danny Barnes. He's been a little bit better. The overall is not as high, but he has been a little bit better. Ramirez is actually a 74, playing like a 77 anyway. So let's call up Danny Barnes. We'll give him the opportunity here. So my thought is, I mean, long reliever-wise, we could be in a little bit of trouble. But my plan was starting Biagini just to see what happens. This could really screw us over short term. Stroman's still the ace. Alvarez, Sanchez, Estrada. There we go. And then long reliever-wise, actually, we still need one more player, don't we? Do we have 25? Yeah, we still need one more guy. What am I thinking? Who do we want to call up? Maybe call up one of these weaker pitchers, but play them as the long reliever. That might be the right way to go. I'm thinking that is the right way to go. So a 2.46 ERA. You know what? Taylor Guerri, congratulations. A winner is you. Welcome to the show, buddy, because we need a long reliever for the moment, and you should be pumped about being there. But even if you're not, I'll take it, because we need somebody to actually perform here. And then Fields and Zick, I'm not overly happy about, but we'll keep them in for now. So we're having to make some changes to the rotation and the bullpen that I didn't exactly expect to make. And then lineup-wise, for the most part, we're still okay. There's no one that I'm overly upset about. And just to check AAA-wise, Vlad Jr.'s killing it. I mean, he's absolutely MLB ready next year. I'm almost tempted to call. I mean, he's the contingency plan. If things go poorly, he gets called up. But for the moment, we're going to keep things the way they are there. Let's sim forward a little bit. We have a 3-game series against Philly. They're on 60 wins. Of course, I'd like 2 out of 3 as always. Let's auto-fix the Blue Jays lineup. And we took 2 out of 3. Beautiful. Quite happy with that. Roster-wise, yeah, I already know that. I'm the one that did the move game. Thank you very much. Big series win there over Philadelphia. Another 3 games against Baltimore. And a chance for redemption. Can we get it? And again, we lose 2 out of 3 to a team much worse than us. That brings us to a series against Miami. They're on 49 wins. Thank God we won game 1 7-4. 2 more games. A sweep here would be tremendous as we enter the final stretch. We're into September. And this team. What is the matter with you? How are we losing 2 out of 3 to Miami? Are you kidding me? Like, how are we losing 2 out of 3 to Miami? And to Baltimore? Only 1 loss out of those 4 have come from a starter. I mean, granted, Zick, the Philly loss was also Zick, but still. Damn it. Wow. The lowest ERA for a starting pitcher right now is a 3.81 from Henderson Alvarez. That is not good enough, to say the least. And Guerrieri at a 1.86 whip. Not exactly what I'm looking for. 7 innings of work. He does have a win on his record, though, so I guess we'll give him a little bit more time. But overall, Danny Barnes is doing all right so far. Zick, I'm still a little bit disappointed in. September call-ups are in 1 day, and I am going to leave that up to the game to decide. So let's change that back to auto for the moment. We'll sim this game against Tampa. And the AAA ball club have made the playoffs. The Buffalo Bison going to the postseason with an 84-56 record. The AA ball club, though, the Fisher Cats, not going to the postseason at 77-63. So the minor league playoffs begin. The September call-ups. Again, I'm just going to trust the game to do it. It pretty much always just, locks in those top guys anyway. So we will we'll move forward. We have taken 2 out of 3 against Tampa. So I'm not too upset about that. Deadline is September 30th. All right. Ah, boy, do I want to do that myself, actually? I mean, it should be fine. But then again, I can't because they're in the playoffs. So that would be the reason as to why it hasn't taken place yet. As we lose Solarte for a week or 2. Not ideal, but we do complete the sweep of Tampa. So that's not too bad. Devin Travis gets into the lineup as a result. 4-game series against Cleveland. They're on 81 wins this season. 2 out of 4 is a must. And that's exactly what happens. We take the first 2 and lose the next, as the Bison are out in the first round, eliminated by the Stripers. So we will see more call-ups. There you go. There you go. Including Vlad Jr. in at DH. That could be a game changer for us. That could be a game changer. We shall see. 3-game series against Boston. We have lost the first 2. Randall Grichuk is back as well as we get swept by the Red Sox. I mean, getting our starting right fielder back at this point in time is huge for us. Granderson's now on the bench, thanks to Vlad Jr. being on this roster, which I don't necessarily disagree with. He's up to a .316 average through 19 appearances. Where are we in the standings, though? 17 back of Boston and New York, who have both clinched a playoff spot. And it's going to be a lot more difficult for us as we are 2 games clear of Houston. 2.5 above the Angels. This is going to be close. Very, very close. But we do have winnable series. We got quite a few games against Tampa, a 3-game series against Baltimore, but that 3-game series against Houston, that is key. We cannot afford to be swept by the Yankees here, and we do win game 1. We lose game 2, but we do take 2 out of 3. That is huge for us. Absolutely huge for us. We're also getting healthy at a very, very good time. So I'm feeling good about that as well. Let's take a look at the standings yet again. Let's see. Still just 2 games above Houston. There's only 1 wildcard spot left. We know it's Boston or New York that will have that top wildcard spot. And odds are we'll be playing either Boston or New York. And actually, I can tell you about the standings right now. That's exactly what we're fighting for. Whoever finishes in the second wildcard spot will be taking on either Boston or New York, whoever wins the AL East. So we're fighting for the right to get destroyed in the first round. But I'm okay with that. Sanchez, Stroman, and Alvarez here in this 3-game series against Baltimore. Oh my God. If we miss, that's why. Because for whatever reason, Baltimore is proving to be our kryptonite this season. Oh my God. I don't understand it. I really don't. It's a 4-game series against Tampa. 3 out of 4 is needed. And we don't get it. We split the series. 6 games left this year. 3 against Houston and 3 more games against Tampa. We're at 81 and 75. Houston, though, as you see by their record, have slipped up. Where are we standings-wise? Yeah, Houston slipped up. They're 3.5 back. We're 2 games above the Angels. We have 2 more wins. Just clear 2 more wins. Boy, this is going to be close. This is going to be very, very close. Game 1 against Houston. Alvarez v. Cole. And Alvarez pitches a gem. A 3-0 victory. 3 runs on 5 hits. We were at least efficient. The solo shot potentially there for Polanco? I can only assume. Alvarez pitches 8 2/3 innings. So Alvarez almost went the distance. I'm shocked that he didn't. 7 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. And then Rivero's brought in for the save, his 47th of the year. So Alvarez nearly pitches the complete game shutout in game 1. That sets up Chad Kuhl and Dallas Keuchel. Can we get the win in game 2? No, we cannot. It's a 7-3 loss. Also, Marco Estrada was brought in. Not sure why, but that didn't really help. Standings-wise, of course, we're 18 back of Boston. That doesn't help. Let's take a look here. Where are we? Oh my God, we're only a game above. We're only a game ahead. Can you imagine if we miss out? I'd like to think that's not going to happen. Final game against Houston? Oh my God, no. 16-5. And if LA won, we are tied with 3 games to go. Thank God LA lost. I mean, Anaheim. Call them the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. That's why I'm calling them the Angels. I don't know. People don't like when I say Los Angeles, but damn it, it was in the name. It is in the name. We're a game up on the Angels, 2 above Houston, with 3 games to go this season against a non-playoff team in Tampa. Sanchez, Stroman, and Henderson Alvarez on the mound for these 3 games that might as well be a playoff game. I am so disappointed in the performance of so many of our players this season. But maybe, just maybe, we can find just a little bit of success here. Just a little bit, maybe, possibly. That would be nice. The one thing that I want to check here is anybody who I'd potentially call up. Reed Foley, Gaviglio, no. Tepish, I mean, that's playoff stats, though. I was hoping to view regular season. Jesus, Al Albuquerque had a rough postseason, huh? And Carlos Ramirez. Okay. I should have taken a look at the regular season stats, but it's okay. Game 1 against Tampa is a 5-1 win. Thank you very much, Aaron Sanchez. Anderson. I was thinking of Henderson Alvarez. I don't know. I combined Henderson Alvarez and Aaron Sanchez. Anderson Sanchez. Beautiful. Where are we? Did LA lose? Did Anaheim lose? They did. We are 1 win away. All we have to do is win one of our final 2 games, and the Blue Jays are postseason bound. Stroman on the mound here. Can we get the win in game 2? Yes, we can. We're going to the playoffs in year 1. Mission accomplished. It's not going to be pretty now that we're here, but damn it, we made it. And as it is, we will have to play Boston in the... Well, actually, no, we won't even have to play Boston. What am I talking about? We'll be in the winner will play Boston. I mean, we're going to have to play... That's what I was thinking. Sorry. I should have mentioned Tired 24 at the start of it. I can guarantee there's already comments. You idiot! I know what the format is. We play the Yankees. Winner plays Boston. My point was, we're screwed regardless because we're not beating both of these teams, but we have secured a 1-game playoff against the New York Yankees. The winner moves on to play the Boston Red Sox in the ALDS. So this game, final game of the season against Tampa, it's a 6-3 win. I'll take it. We sweep Tampa to end the season. We have made the postseason with an 85-77 record. And again, we are on the road and we are playing New York, a 1-game playoff. The winner plays Boston. Seattle and Cleveland are the other confirmed ALDS matchup. Over in the NL, it's St. Louis and Washington in the wild card. Winner plays the LA Dodgers. The Cubs are playing the Mets in the NLDS. That is already confirmed. We'll take a look at the awards, as David Peralta has won a Gold Glove, and he is our only award winner. Chris Sale wins AL MVP. In the NL, it goes to Corey Seager, who hit 48 home runs and hit 331. Good Lord. The Cy Young goes to Chris Sale. He was 21-1. I feel like I should point that out. With a 1.91 ERA. Good Lord. Max Scherzer wins it in the NL. Compare those numbers to those numbers. Chris Sale just made the Hall of Fame off of that season alone, but Scherzer wins at least his 3rd straight Cy Young. Freddie Freeman wins the batting title in the NL. It goes to Edwin. 51 home runs for Edwin Encarnacion. That must be devastating for the Blue Jays fans watching this. Oh boy. Reliever of the year, David Hernandez of the Reds and Cody Allen of Cleveland. Rookie of the year, Kyle Tucker and Nick Kingham. Hank Aaron Award to Freddie Freeman and Edwin Encarnacion. As far as the Gold Gloves, who really cares? Highest batting average in the league, Encarnacion and Cabrera. Freddie Freeman hit 346, though. What I care about are the home runs. Encarnacion with 51, 45 for Jonathan Schopp and Aaron Judge. Right over in the NL, you had Seager up there as well. So, there you go. There you go. Who's the worst team in the league, by the way? 61 wins for Kansas City. It was probably Kansas City. Yeah, Kansas City, the worst team in the league this year. I'm kind of surprised by that. Now, the question is, what do we do lineup-wise here? I feel like we're good for the most part. I mean, I can't really imagine any other change that we're going to make. Vlad Jr.'s back down in AAA. I don't know if I'm going to stick with that. Could be worth calling up Teoscar Hernandez again, even though he's going to be pissed about not playing. Although Steve Pearce did hit 252 coming off the bench. Kevin Pillar hit 239 on the season, excuse me. We have Polanco and Grichuk, Granderson. I do need to figure out what I want to do lineup-wise here. Because we do have quite a few players that could be worth calling up. I mean, if we look at the rotation, in terms of who should be our starter, I don't know. Based on ERA, I mean, Alvarez wasn't terrible, but it comes down to Stroman or Sanchez. It has to, and it's got to be Marcus Stroman. It has to. Live and die by Marcus Stroman. From there, if we make it, we'll see. Yeah, I need to make some changes to this though. I do. So let's see. Pitching wise, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I might send down Barnes, although he's been pretty good. It's Tony Zick that I'm more concerned about, to be honest, with that 165 whip. I might send him down and keep Danny Barnes. And then starting-wise, Michael Yanoa, 4.33 ERA. Chad Kuhl's currently down, a 4.58. Jesus. And then Reed Foley, I wouldn't call up. So, Yanoa might get called up. I think that's what I'm going to do. Tony Zick, I'm going to drop you from the playoff roster, more than likely. I'm going to add Michael Yanoa to it. Or not. Or not. The game actually didn't call him up, which is incredibly weird. Because I don't want... Actually, I could just put Biagini there. I was going to say, it's like, I don't want Guerri there. We can have him as the long reliever. That's not an ideal situation, though. Not at all. Can I call up Chad? I cannot. All right. You know what? I'm cool with that, though, because they both disappointed heavily, and they wouldn't have been in that situation if they weren't both terrible. Not that Taylor Guerri has been that much better, but, I'm stuck with that decision now. I thought both were on the roster, though, as of, the first with the September call-ups. So, that is kind of weird to me. Only players on the active roster deal as of September 1st. Well, yeah, I guess it makes sense. I did send them down, so maybe I should have been more careful. But overall, I don't think it's going to make a major difference. I really don't. So we should be okay. I do wonder, though. Actually, yeah, see, that's a bit of a problem then. So, for example, could I call up Junior? I can't because he was in the playoffs. That's the issue, is that the Bison went to the playoffs. So that's going to cause some issues with who can actually be on this team for the postseason. But overall, we should be okay. Let's see. Rosenthal was at a 115. Yeah, let's swap them back. So I have Hendrickson, Rosenthal, Barnes, Fields, Zick. It's not terrible. And then lineup-wise, I agree with what I see there, to be honest. I might be able to change it up a little bit, though. I might. Give me 1 second. I'm going to see if I can optimize this in a better way. All right, for the most part, I think we're good. There's really not a whole hell of a lot we can do in terms of order. It mainly comes down to how players are going to perform. Bottom line. That's pretty much all that it comes down to. I mean, rotation-wise, kind of a similar thing. And really, there's not a whole hell of a lot we can do. It's a one-game playoff coming up against the Yankees, and we're going to do whatever the hell we can to win this game, and we are going to do it right now. Let's go ahead and sim up to the day. Stroman v. Severino. Let's take a look at what we are up against. This is their rotation and bullpen heading into the postseason. Of course, Severino, their ace. How did he do this season? 18-6 with a 2.82 ERA. Boy, we are screwed. And even in a series against them, Montgomery, Gray, Tanaka, and Hamels, it would be quite rough. And then bullpen-wise, I mean, just, yeah. Yeah, even if they have some weaker players on paper like Warren and Holder, it would still be a little bit rough. And then lineup-wise, I didn't even need to go to that. It's easier to just do it this way. Lineup-wise, Gleyber Torres, 217 this season, 11 home runs, and 41 RBIs. Ronald Torres, 8 home runs, 58 RBIs, and a 231 average. Aaron Judge, we know, was up there for home runs, 45 home runs, 106 RBIs, and a 269 average. Giancarlo Stanton, 39 home runs, 100 RBIs, and a 269 average. Gary Sanchez, 35 home runs, 78 RBIs, and a 287 average. Didi Gregorius, 16 home runs, 55 RBIs, and a 275 average. Good old Neil Walker, 28. My God, the power game they have compared to us. 28 home runs, 76 RBIs, and a 295. Miguel Andujar. It's Andujar, right? Andujar. Probably botching that. 23 goddamn home runs, 73 RBIs, and a 266 average. And then Aaron Hicks at center, 12 home runs, 64 RBIs, and a 251. On the bench, they have Tyler Wade who bat hit 178. Can you tell that I'm losing it because I know what's about to happen here, even in a 1-game playoff. I know what's about to happen. Their bench is actually surprisingly weak. I'm a little bit surprised at that. Regardless, there's nothing else we can do. We have pretty much seen the team stats for this season, have we not? I mean, Pilar, 7 homers, 46 RBIs, that 239 average. David Peralta didn't exactly, I mean, he did okay. A career year for, not quite a career year. The best year for him since 2015, but he did bat 303, so I'm good with that. Josh Donaldson, 37 home runs, 92 RBIs. That's the one thing I didn't even do. I didn't go for our own team. Should probably do that. A 277 average, so a great season there for him. Justin Smoke, 25 homers, 69 RBIs, and a 255 average. Gregory Polanco, one of the deadline pickups, 32 home runs, 89 RBIs, and a 280 average, so a career season for him. Randall Grichuk, of course, only 101 games played, 15 home runs, 51 RBIs, and a 254 average. Russell Martin, 18 homers, 64 RBIs, and a 254. Tulo, 1964, and a 280. And from there, Solarte, 15 home runs and 57 RBIs with a 267. Granderson, 11, 56, and a 273. So it hurts a little bit to not have Curtis Granderson in the lineup, but at the very least, what a pinch hitting option he is. And in all honesty, Steve Pearce surprised me. 11 home runs, 26 RBIs, and a 252. From there, Devin Travis, 11, 32, and a 223. Not bad. And Gabriel Lino didn't do that well, but that was pretty much to be expected. That said, it is with a half-glass empty approach that we do this, that we begin this. Our 1-game playoff, the wild card game against the Yankees. Winner take all. Winner goes on to play the Boston Red Sox in the best of 5 ALDS. Actually, the best of 5. Yeah, it is the best of 5, is it not? I'm off my game today. I've played enough of this game where it's like, I know baseball, but I've played enough of this game where you'd think, like, hey, I got this down. I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous. This team, I felt so much more confident in this team before this episode. That's what it is. I'm still in a little bit of shock that we consistently lost games to the likes of Baltimore and Tampa. And it's really affected my confidence in this team heading into this game. However, anything can happen in a 1-game playoff. Anything can happen. That's all it takes. 1 win, 1 W. For those who aren't familiar with the show, by the way, you can change the loading screen. How great is that? Isn't it? You get to look at a bunch of different stuff. It is quite nice. St. Louis beat the Nationals. The Washington Nationals are out, and they might lose Bryce Harper this offseason, both in this game and in real life. Probably more likely in real life, as the Cards move on to play the Dodgers, but we're not going to worry about that. What we are going to worry about is this postseason matchup. Yankee Stadium is the scene. For those who are unfamiliar with how I'm doing this, to be honest, I do this in a very NHL-like manner, where we have the option to go through fast forward. Occasionally I'll jump into quick manage. However, I've had a lot of bad luck with quick manage, so we normally stick to fast forward unless it's a situation that I can kind of take control of, and we see how it plays out in a very hockey-like fashion. So Kevin Pillar leads off for us here. Let's see what he can do. He can fly out. That's what he can do. David Peralta's up next, and he hits a solo shot. The trade deadline acquisition with a solo shot, 1 out in the top of the first, and the Blue Jays strike. David Peralta, thank you very much. We get to Severino early. That brings up Donaldson, who strikes out. Justin Smoke with 2 outs. Another solo shot. 2-0 Blue Jays in the top of the first. Gregory Polanco, what can you do? You can ground out, but what a start to this game. Solo shots for David Peralta and Justin Smoke. 2-0 Toronto through the first half of this game, through the first half inning of this game. What a way to start. Marcus Stroman takes the mound. Gleyber Torres leads off. He flies out. Ronald Torreyes, the DH, pops out. Aaron Judge strikes out. That is huge. A 1-2-3 inning for Stroman. We lead 2-0 through the first inning. Randall Grichuk leading off. He strikes out. Russell Martin strikes out. Tulo singles. Obviously not a steal threat, so Solarte will swing away. He pops out. That is okay. Stanton leads off for the Yankees. He grounds out. Gary Sanchez grounds out. Didi Gregorius pops out. So another 1-2-3 inning. A great start so far for Marcus Stroman. We're back to the top of the order. Kevin Pillar leading off. He pops out. David Peralta grounds out on this occasion. Josh Donaldson with 2 outs also grounds out. So things have settled down a little bit. We have a pitching duel on our hands at this point. Neil Walker leads off for the Yankees with a single. Andujar, a stolen base for Walker. 40 speed and 7 steal. But he gets the stolen base. No outs, runner on second. Andujar singles and drives in Neil Walker. That is terrible defense on our part and just simply not good enough from Stroman to allow Walker to steal. It's now 2-1. Aaron Hicks here with no outs and a runner on first. He singles. Andujar over to third. And we're in a little bit of trouble. Gleyber Torres is up. No outs. Runners at the corners. The sac fly to bring in the runner. We are tied. Torreyes is up. Hicks at first. A steal attempt might be on the cards here. And he gets caught stealing. So there we go. We at least gunned him down that time. Go figure. It's Hicks that gets caught, not Neil Walker. So 2 outs here for Torreyes. He grounds out, and through 3 innings, we are tied. 3 hits apiece, 2 runs on the board. Justin Smoke leading off, hit that solo shot the last time up, and he kicks things off with the leadoff double. Good opportunity here to regain the lead. Gregory Polanco singles and drives in Smoke. So there we go. The lead, or a lead at the very least, is restored. 3-2 Blue Jays. Grichuk is up with Polanco. And Polanco's a good enough steal threat that we're going to try to force it. Can he get it? Yes, he can. So a huge stolen base for Gregory Polanco. That puts us right back in the same situation. No outs, runner in scoring position. Grichuk strikes out. Unfortunately, Russell Martin strikes out as well. Tulo, you're our last chance here for a little bit more insurance. He's walked. That brings up Solarte. 2 outs, 2 on. And on a fielder's choice, that ends the inning. But we do regain the lead. Aaron Judge leads things off in the bottom of the 4th with a single. Giancarlo Stanton flies out. The runner is held at first. Gary Sanchez lines out. And Didi Gregorius with 2 outs grounds out. Through 4, it's 3-2 Blue Jays. You can see why I wasn't too optimistic or too overly excited with the 2 solo shots. We still have a long way to go, and anything can happen. Kevin Pillar leads off the top of the 5th with a ground out. He's 0 for 3 in this game. David Peralta pops out. And Josh Donaldson strikes out. Donaldson now also 0 for 3 in this game. Neil Walker leads off. He flies out on this occasion. Andujar singles. Aaron Hicks pops out. Runners held at first. Gleyber Torres strikes out. So through 5, it is 3-2 Blue Jays. 5 hits apiece. Justin Smoke leads off the top of the 6th. Severino still on the mound for the moment. Smoke strikes out. Polanco grounds out. Grichuk singles. I'm just going to have Russell Martin go for it. He strikes out, unfortunately. I was going to go for a steal attempt. I didn't want to risk it. Having Russell Martin lead off the next half of the inning doesn't sound ideal. Stroman still has a ton of energy here. Torreyes leading off. He grounds out. And now we get to the big 3. Aaron Judge with 1 out. He lines out. Giancarlo Stanton strikes out. So there we go, to the top of the 7th. We still have that 1-run lead. Tulowitzki leads off against Severino, who's still in and is taken out. So Severino is done for the night. Chad Green comes in relief. He'll face Tulowitzki in the top of the 7th. Tulo flies out. Solarte grounds out. Kevin Pillar flies out. So quick work there for Chad Green. Bottom of the 7th, Stroman is still on, leading off against Gary Sanchez, who hits a double. That puts us in a rough situation here. Gregorius, no outs, runner on second. And that will do it for Stroman. Danny Barnes is brought on in relief. Was that the right choice from our manager? We'll find out. Gregorius grounds out, runners held at second. Neil Walker strikes out, 2 outs, runner on second. Barnes versus Andujar. And the runner's thrown out at home. Andujar with a single. However, Gary Sanchez is thrown out at home. The 3-2 lead is still intact. We go to the top of the 8th. Thank God not tied. Leading 3-2. Peralta leads off. Will Green stay in? No, he will not. Tommy Conley? I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. Tommy Conley is brought in to face Peralta here in the top of the 8th. Peralta strikes out. Donaldson's 0 for 3. Make that 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Justin Smoke with 2 outs grounds out. I imagine Danny Barnes will be taken out. He is. Liam Hendricks is brought on. He'll face Aaron Hicks in the bottom of the 8th. Hicks leading off with a single. He's a steal threat as well. Gleyber Torres strikes out. Torres strikes out, and that brings up Aaron Judge. He could change this with one swing of the bat. Can Hendricks get through the inning? Judge singles. 2 on, 2 outs for Giancarlo Stanton. I was going to call him Mike. Oh, Mikey. He grounds out through 8 innings. It's a 3-2 Blue Jays lead. Our last chance here for a little bit of insurance. Will Conley stay on to face Polanco? He will not. They bring on Jonathan Holder. Polanco, 1 for 3 in this game with a stolen base and an RBI. Polanco leads off. He flies out. Grichuk's 1 for 3 in this game. What can he do with 1 out? He flies out, and that brings up Russell Martin, 0 for 3. He singles to keep the inning alive. Tulowitzki pops out, though, and that sends us to the bottom of the 9th in this 1-game playoff, the wild card game. We know the closer's coming on. It's Felipe Rivero. Sanchez, the 5-hitter, leads off. We are 3 outs away from pulling off an upset and moving on to face the Red Sox in the ALDS. We're 3 outs away. The biggest move of this season, despite going out at deadline day and acquiring guys like Peralta and Polanco, the biggest move was trading Roberto Osuna and bringing in Felipe Rivero as his replacement. And now our season, it's all up to him. Our season's on the line and all the pressure is on the shoulders of Felipe Rivero, 3 outs away. Gary Sanchez will probably hit a solo shot here to tie it. Sanchez, what can he do? He flies out. 1 out. Here we go. Didi Gregorius strikes out. Neil Walker represents the tying run, but they are down to their final out. Here we go. They are down to their final out. Rivero against Walker. Rivero delivers. Ball 199 mile an hour fastball. God damn. Come on. I'm so tempted to turn up Matt Vasgersian's commentary here, but we're all right. Rivero, the 1-0 count, delivers. And Walker fouls that one off, 1-1 count. Rivero up to this point on just 6 pitches, by the way. Retired the first 2 quite easily. Rivero, the pitch. That'll be ball 2. Oh, the pressure's on. Come on, Rivero. I believe in you. We're 1 out away. Here's the 2-1. And a swing and a miss for Walker. The Yankees are down to their last strike. A 2-all count. We are potentially 1 pitch away from upsetting the Yankees and moving on to the ALDS. Here we go. Rivero, the 2-2. And it's a ball. Great patience from Walker. It's a full count here. Andujar on deck. Here we go. Can Walker keep this inning alive? Can he keep this game alive? The full count. Here's the pitch from Rivero. He strikes him out! The Blue Jays are going to the ALDS. Doubt this team now. I'm saying that to myself more than anybody else. Rivero seals the deal. Roberto Osuna, who's that? Who needs him? We have Felipe Rivero. What an effort. 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the ninth. We survive this challenge in the wild card game. Marcus Stroman, a great effort from him. But from there, really, the story of this game is the bullpen holding up after all of their struggles this season. My God, we have done it. We have gone into Yankee Stadium and walked away with the W in the AL wild card game. Marcus Stroman, your winning pitcher, 6 innings of work with 2 earned runs. Severino gets the loss. Justin Smoke, 2 hits, including that solo shot. What a game. What a win. And in the next episode, as it turns out, it won't be time for off-season rebuilding. It will be time for our ALDS matchup against the Boston Red Sox. Justin Smoke named player of the game. I'm not sure if I can disagree with it. There were a few people who could have been given that award. We are moving on. 3-2 final. Unbelievable. Rivero gets the save. I cannot believe it. We go into New York. We walk in the Yankee Stadium, shaking in our boots, but damn it, we walked out with the W, and we, of course, have a 5-game series coming up against Cy Young Award-winning Chris Sale and the Boston Red Sox. David Price as well had an insane season this year. We will take a look at their lineup in full in the next episode. I'm treating this just like I treat the hockey runs, but man, what an episode. From barely securing that wild card spot, beating out both Houston and Anaheim with the what the fuck? I cannot believe this. I'm sorry. I'm stunned. Damn it. When I'm stunned like this, I don't go over the top flipping chairs. I am legitimately stunned at what's happened here. Despite, again, we were losing to teams like Baltimore and Tampa. It didn't make sense. But we held on 3 games clear of both Houston and Anaheim. We make the wild card, and then we beat a team that had 14 more wins than we did in the regular season. We hit 206 collectively. 206. Oh my God. I mean, that's so, I mean, then again, that's postseason actually. Damn it. Oh, why did it update to postseason stats? That's dumb. I just noticed. That's pretty dumb. I was gonna say, like, wait a minute, how the fuck did we hit 206? I'm like, that does not make sense. Regardless, we had no right beating the Yankees, and now we have to face a team that won 103 games in the regular season, the best team in all of baseball. But we have pulled off the miracle once. Granted, like I said, it was 1 game and anything could happen. Now we really have to prove ourselves. So again, the postseason, it's Seattle and Cleveland. We will play the Red Sox. Over in the NL, the first NL, actually both NL matchups have begun. The Cubs took game 1 against the Mets, and the Cards, of course, beat the Nationals in the wild card, and they took game 1 against the Dodgers. So we will pay attention to all of these postseason matchups, but most importantly, our own Toronto and Boston in the ALDS. We'll get to that next episode. For now, I hope you enjoyed this one. A little bit of drama, a little bit of drama, a little bit of nerves on my part. But hey, this team has proven that all they need is a chance. And we have a chance in the next one. I cannot believe this. My mind is gone right now. So for now, I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. You know what you can do to support the video and the channel, and I thank you for it. Links are in the description of my Twitter and Twitch. Check me out on both of those platforms. And until next time, have a good one. Take it easy. I'll see you next time.